Hello and welcome to IGN Anime Club, episode 51. Yay, anime!
Yay, anime!
We're back. I'm your host, Marina Sanchez, and joining me is Mike Mamone.
Hey.
Megan Sullivan.
Sup?
Callie Plaguey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Missed last week, sorry guys. But we're here to bring you a super cool episode. We have a lot in store, lots of research. So I'm very, very excited to present it all to you.
Before we start, where can we watch Anime Club, Miranda?
Oh, you can watch in many places. Like our own YouTube channel, perhaps?
Yes, this is a new thing. Yeah, so you can find us now on our own YouTube channel instead of the main IGN channel, and it's youtube.com/Anime Club, which is a pretty good URL grab, if I do say so myself.
It gets right to the point,
No
and
worries.
we're going to have
Make sure
some
we got that one.
hopefully exclusive features go up on that
Special
particular YouTube
stuff.
channel.
So yeah, be sure to subscribe, and like the more people that are on that, the more we can do with it. So be sure to hop on there and check
Yeah.
it out. You can also watch us on IGN's many apps.
Many apps on the Xbox,
Yeah, on the PS4.
PS4.
Yes.
Roku,
Apple TV.
all of them.
All of the devices. All of the devices.
Yes.
And of course, there's like the smartphone apps as well. So be sure to check those out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so let's begin the show. We always start with what we're watching. So I'm gonna pick on Mike today.
Okay.
What are you watching?
Okay, well, I watched a lot in the 2 weeks, but I'm going to only talk about these few. And I watched Tanaka-kun, is always Listless. And haven't you heard I'm Sakamoto? So I don't know what it is about eccentric high school boys, but I'm loving these two right now.
Were you not eccentric
And-
in high school?
No. No, definitely not. No. I was very quiet in high school.
He was the cute one.
No, and the quiet cute one in the corner that
Yeah.
just doesn't do anything.
It's a Facebook group joke.
Yeah.
By the way.
But yeah, no. Have you guys watched episode 2 yet of Tanaka?
Not yet.
I've skimmed it for a feature we did that was really cool that you should check out called the 13 Most Promising Anime.
Yes.
Yes.
Which you can watch on IGN.com and YouTube.
Wow. So many great
So many
places you
plugs.
should visit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. If you don't know
Watch everywhere.
where to start with this season, that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
We did a lot of watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watched so
Yes.
many.
We watched a lot
So
of
many episodes.
eccentric high school boys.
Yes. A lot of that. And girls.
And girls.
There are
Yeah, and girls.
There's a lot of eccentricity in this particular season
Yeah.
of anime. So please
true.
go to Crunchyroll, Funimation,
Yes.
Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, Daisuke. I'm trying to remember everything. And go watch some good anime. We have 13 promising anime this
Yes.
season. Again, please go check it out on IGN.com. We love you. We love it when you support us. Anyways, sorry,
Back to Mike.
Go ahead.
But anyway, so yeah, as I was saying, Tanaka-kun, there is, so since you guys haven't watched episode 2 yet, there is a girl in there, and I'm going to say she's the best girl for me.
Oh.
And-
Okay,
Like
you're going to have to
ever?
explain why.
Telling your girlfriend.
Okay, maybe for this
telling
season.
on you.
For this season. For this season. You have to watch it. I can't. It's like you've seen
I've
it.
seen parts of it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
She's cute.
She's super cute, and like.
Is that the only thing about her, Mike?
Yeah.
No.
There's lots of cute girls in anime. What
yeah,
makes her
sure.
best girl, though?
It's.
Is this
Flustered just thinking about
I
it.
am,
Is this you telling us
seriously.
we need to, as soon as we get out of here, we have to watch
this. You have
episode
to
2
watch at least episode 2. Yes.
Okay.
to get to know this girl?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then because I've seen up to I've caught up now, and like a part of me wants to watch it again
Wow.
because like the newest characters just don't live up to her, and I need to watch
all right.
more.
Wow.
Someone send Mike some nice fan art,
Yes.
some cute fan art.
Yes.
We got a lot of good
Yeah,
artists.
Anyway, so yeah, please watch episode 2 of Tanaka-kun is always Listless, please.
I want to watch the show because I want to compare Tanaka-kun to
Sakamoto.
Umaru and see
Oh,
who's the lazier.
That's what I need to
slug.
watch.
But Umaru is like rude.
Oh.
She's terrible.
Oh, she's terrible. Yes,
She's
but she's also
trash.
extremely lazy.
It's it's an inventive laziness.
Yeah.
It is. There
Yeah.
is a certain cleverness to it. It sounds like Tanaka-kun is
He's
also.
he has like more of an art to it. Like it's
It's not as
it's more
calculated.
refined.
like
It's
art.
refined.
Well,
He's
like
not.
Umaru just uses her cuteness to get what she wants. Like she whines. Tanaka-kun has he has a strategy, and it's
Alright.
deeper than just being like Oni-chan. You know, it's more like, what if I did this and then I didn't have to move again?
Exactly.
I like this. I feel like
He's
I
also
could
so much
learn so
more
much.
nuanced, and he's quiet. Umaru's all over the walls, bouncing crazy. Even when she's trying to be lazy, like she's still hyper in her own way. Whereas Tanaka-kun is very serene.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Would you say he's listless?
Oh, very much so. What? No.
Hey.
But yeah.
What
So
you
I watched
watching?
those two. And I'm also watching Big Order, which is super cool. If you have watched Future Diary, which I have not, but I've heard good stuff about it. It's made by the same creator. And I can see why people are saying that, like, there's certain types of like styles, just like the way the look of certain characters. It's very similar. And I'm enjoying it so far. It's pretty much a post-apocalyptic anime, and where there's like this great destructive event that happened like 10 years ago, and the protagonist, he's saying it's his fault, and as the anime continues on, you learn that people have powers, and the public knows that, and they hate these people that are called the Orders, and it's pretty much him and his story, like trying to, because he, I believe they also people do know of him. I think I have to watch again, but pretty much he blames himself for the event, and he tries to hide his powers, pretty much, and it gets really weird in terms of like, oh yeah, it's dark. It's a dark anime, pretty violent, and yeah, I like it. Yeah. Well, I mean, watching this now, I kind of want to watch Future Diary because I heard good stuff about that.
And
so
you want to watch Code Geass.
Oh yeah, actually I saw a Code Geass figure in my local comic store and I kind of wanted it, but whatever. But anyway, Big Order, yeah. If you're a fan of Future Diary or Mirai Nikki, which is the Japanese name, definitely check out Big Order. It has very interesting characters and some weird characters, which if you're into that too, check it out. So
Seems like there's a lot of those.
Yeah. Oh man,
those people who like them.
Yeah, this most recent episode got really weird. And
Which
if you guys
episode
are
are you
watching, I think it's 4.
Okay.
Episode 4.
Yeah, I only watched the first one, so
Yeah.
I'm interested to check out more because of the powers.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing about the world ending and like who caused the world to end, kind of thing,
And there's
or
a bit
society
of
to
fan
collapse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
that's the interesting part.
It tells you in the first episode. Spoilers, but you know.
Yeah. But aside from that, I'm enjoying it. So
Yeah.
check it out too. What have you been watching, Megan?
Well, I tried watching High School Fleet, which is one of the new spring anime.
Actually, I watched the first episode of that too.
I watched the first couple episodes, and I was hoping it would pull a School Live on me, and like it
That's
looks
what
like.
people were comparing it to, right? They're like, this is like School Live of the season. I'm like, please.
So I was hoping that it would get like there'd be some dark twisted turn and all this other like something creative. It's like moe cute schoolgirls with nuclear subs or battleships and what have you, but it just fell into the predictable comedic beats of what you expect it to be, and the jokes were very flat and the characters were archetypes, and I really tried to give this one a chance. I was like, School Live did surprise me. I wasn't going to watch that at all, and ended up being one of my favorite things from last year. This was just another very typical moe anime with cute girls doing cute knee-knocking things. They do the thing where they put their knees together and they be all cutesy-wootsy and, oh my gosh, I have to fire. Oh, that torpedo was real. Oops. And stuff like that was just like, maybe it'll get more serious and dark later, but...
Miranda messaged me a real sexist thing from that show, too.
High School Fleet is about an all-girls academy, and all the women, like the girls, go to train on ships. I guess a lot of Japan has sunk, and so a lot of the cities are port-based, and people just live on ships and are part of the Navy and are trying to maintain peace and whatever. And in the beginning of episode 3, they reveal like why so many captains are women. I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something along the lines that they have them as women so that way...
It's basically the gist of it was, it's a peaceful ship if a woman's running it because women don't run battleships.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
but it
just
wasn't like joking. It was kind
Not
of
a joke.
Like,
It was
serious.
women. You put a woman at the helm, so everybody knows she's not there to make war.
Yeah, so it's like as a sign like of peace or something. Women are at the front of the ship. It's like, oh man, this show's dropped.
Since you watched 3 episodes now, has there been men at all in this? Show?
I mean, like there are men, like they're commanders and stuff, but it's about like these girls in their academy and they end up accidentally mutinying or getting set up to
I saw
mutiny.
the first episode,
and so like there's some interesting things there, but ultimately, like Megan said, it's just like very over the top cutesy and like it's knows
weird.
its audience. It's going for the
It doesn't fit.
the battleship otaku who really likes the cute girls and the ships.
I can see how you can merchandise it. You can have toy ships and then girls.
I mean, it's so easy.
Like,
but it's just Nah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
There was a
Anyways,
scene
pass.
where, yeah.
So I watched 2 episodes of that. I was like, nope. And then I watched, I don't know if I brought it up last time. I think I did, but I started Yu Hakasho,
Hey.
which is old school, but a goodie.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think that one was going to be my cup of tea. That's the one with the school punk does one good deed where he pushes a kid out of the way of a moving car, gets hit by the car, dies, turns into a ghost. And at first he's like, whatever, I want to be a ghost forever. This is really fun. But then he sees that his family and friends actually do miss him. And so he has to do a bunch of good deeds to get back into his body. And it's really cool. Like the action and comedy balance is really great.
Nice.
So thank you to Xavier Woods for recommending that. And finally, I watched more of Flying Witch, because that's an anime where you just gotta anime and chill. It's all about a witch who lives in the countryside. But instead of doing like tons of magic spells, it's like Harvest Moon, the anime. She goes farming and cooking and talks to her friends, and it's just very mellow. And every once in a while, she'll, she and her sister will like pull out a spell to like do stuff.
a thing.
Yeah, do a
Yeah.
thing. But it's like white magic, not black magic. It's like, hey, if you burn a piece of witch's hair, crows will come and land on your arm, and it's so nice and peaceful. And I'm like,
Crows are cool.
Yeah.
Don't knock crows.
Yeah,
no,
They're
it's
really smart. They're really smart.
But anyway, if you
For
want a little ASMR in your anime, you want that soft, soothing, tingly feel, but like your head tingles and you kind of fall asleep. This is a great anime for that.
Or if you want Jesus, you can watch Bakuon.
Wait, what?
What if I transition this really well? And then I did.
All right, well, we can finish the episode because nothing's going to top that.
Or if you
So-
want Jesus, you can watch the Motorcycle Club anime.
Are you saying
still trying to
Jesus
figure out the
can't ride a
connection.
motorcycle?
I know,
I'm
I'm
not-
happy this morning, so I'm really excited.
Miranda and I have Blue Bottle coffee, and we're like,
it's
yeah.
badass. I haven't been sleeping.
It's so much caffeine. I've been drinking like 3 cups of coffee, and then I switched to Blue Bottle, and it's more caffeine.
How
Anyway,
are you able to do that? I had one thing a latte and
I've
I'm
had like
flying
half
through
of
the
it,
roof.
guys, and I'm.
I had
anyway.
the whole thing. I'm ready. So, what about Jesus? Can you
Bakuon.
please explain?
So Bakuon is the Moe Motorcycle Club anime. So this is the Moe show you should be watching if you're into that and you want girls in vehicles or whatever.
I thought you were going for a Saint Young Men thing, but I guess not.
And mild spoilers because this is a little bit later on. I think it's like episode 4 when one of the girls meets Jesus. Well, she's on
Why is
her
he
motorcycle.
riding a motorcycle?
Yeah.
And which motorcycle does he
And
prefer?
I don't want to like spoil the entire bit, but it's really good. This
All right.
this
I
show
know what
is
I'm
just
watching.
like everywhere. Like noting there is a lot of fan service. Like
Yeah.
it's very much unashamed about that. It's like, hey, we know what we're doing here.
Jesus
Like, we're
fan
gonna sell
service?
some
Wait,
things.
what?
Jesus fan service.
Jesus doesn't get fan service. Like he just gets to be on a motorcycle. He's fine, and he has a tablet, and it's great.
He has a tablet?
He's tech savvy.
Anyway.
It's not a motorcycle.
So, okay.
Name Jesus.
Is he better or worse than Saint Young Men Jesus, though?
I'm not gonna tell you. I don't want to talk about it too much.
Okay.
Just so
You gotta watch it.
I
It's
need to watch
really
it.
funny.
All right, this needs to be like a special
There's, like,
episode
some,
of Anime
like-
Club where we talk about these kind of
Yeah, there's some like really not great jokes that's like, that wasn't a great thing you
Mm.
just said, but all right. But then the rest of them just like landed. Like they're just so good. Yeah, so it's like if you liked K-On! Or like cute girls club anime, that's just full of heart and weirdness.
Yes, I'm
watch
Googling Bakuon Jesus.
Yeah, it's so good.
I'm probably
Yeah.
going to hell, but I have to
I was
know.
just thinking,
It's
I'm
totally
going
worth it.
Go to church this Sunday.
Real hard. Speaking of hell, Mr. Exorcists.
I'm really glad I'm providing
got
these
the segues
segues
down.
for you. Dang.
I got this today. So
Coffee.
I'm so disappointed by it. It's so generic.
Are you sure this isn't about the Sanrio twin stars?
I'm sure, and I wish it was. So this is one I was actually really looking forward to. We talked about it a little bit before. I was very disappointed, but they're actually not twins. And it's like setting up a really interesting plot, and I kind of think I'm going to go check out the manga instead. It's about these 2 kids who are real good exorcists, except for one doesn't want to be one. One wants to be the best. Secret surprise, they both wanted to be the best. And they're like, hey, you guys are the best, but what if you get married and have a baby and be the actual best exorcist? And so that's kind of
Wait,
the
they
underlying
bred?
plot.
They tried to breed a better
Not yet,
exorcist?
but they want them to get together so they can have the ultimate baby exorcist. who can like vanquish all the demons.
I would watch a show called Baby Exorcist.
so like that's like the cool thing, right? Like it's like, oh, this is like they're in this weird circumstance where they're like destined to be married, or not even destined, like they need to be in order to produce like this kid that can, you know, save the world. But it's so boring.
No, and I quit the show.
Yeah, like there's so many flashbacks, like constantly. And it's like, we're in episode 3, guys. Calm down. Like, I know that just happened.
I just saw
episode.
this.
And, like, I can just, like, I'm not sure like what's going on with the studio or budget or whatever. Like, maybe it's cost of that.
Is it sort of like when you're watching reality TV and it goes to commercial, and right before it goes to commercial, it's like, and the winner of this competition is.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that.
And then,
like,
way. After commercial, it's like, and the winner is more waiting, more waiting, more waiting.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel great right now. Like, maybe it'll get better, but as of right now, I'm just kind of like dropping this show, which is sad. And also, I know they added like a really annoying mascot, because I was looking at comments, like there's this little fox dude, spirit fox dude for the girl exorcist, and they're like, what the hell is that trash?
Wow.
It does not belong here. That wasn't in the manga. And I'm like, oh, this is a bad.
Because you can do merchandising.
Yeah, because you can sell it. So
I'd probably buy a little.
I know
fox.
some people are like enjoying it, like that's good, but I'm probably not gonna watch this. I'm gonna read the manga instead because I heard that's really good.
Oh.
So
sucks though. I love Onmyoji. I love this kind of Japanese
Yeah.
lore and religion and stuff, but it's just I couldn't watch it. I was just like, stop trying so hard.
Ouch.
yeah, so
And there
sad
are
on
other
that.
things to watch,
There are old shows.
like old shows.
That's what I did.
Yeah, what did you rewatch?
I rewatched Kill la Kill with my boyfriend, and I'm so happy. I cried.
I'm surprised we made it to the end though. It didn't seem like I'm surprised it didn't
So-
start with Fully Cooley. I mean, I'm glad, but still.
Yes, like one of the best things is getting your loved ones into anime.
Yeah.
And we've been very slowly watching Kill la Kill. Like he got me all the Blu-rays for Christmas, and I was so happy. And I was like, okay, now we actually have to finish watching this because we started a long time ago. And the thing with Trigger is, and people who have worked on that, and like previous people who had worked on Kill la Kill worked on Gurren Lagann, and you can see like very big thematic things that carry on, like how they structure their themes. It's like there's a big shift like halfway through the story usually, and Kill la Kill does that as well. And that's like when Brian really got into it, and I was just so excited. I was like, yes. And then we marathoned till like 2 a.m. on Sunday night. I was like, I don't care about work. I do. Sorry bosses. And
You're fired.
yeah, so it's just great to rewatch a series because it is my favorite anime.
Yeah.
And so reliving all that with somebody who's experienced it for the first time was just a great thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I did a similar thing. I'm not done with it yet, but I started watching Puella, Magi, Madoka, Magica again with somebody who hasn't seen it yet,
Nice.
who doesn't watch anime. Cassidy Moser, who freelances for IGN, and I'm watching it with Katie, who made our lovely logo. If you're not watching the video, so Katie is like, that's her favorite anime, and so we were like, Cassidy, we're going to get in and out. We're going to make you watch Madoka. And she was like, what? And we sat her down and we're like, okay, you ready for this? And it's sort of a weird show. Madoka's it's a super, like, it's not an entry level anime, but like Cassidy does not watch anime. And we were like, this will be fun. So we sat her down and we watched like the first 3 episodes, and there's like a big thing that happens in episode 3. And she was like, I hate you. I hate you guys so much. We're like, get ready to suffer. Like, it was great. But
So make your friends suffer.
Make your
Force them
friends
to watch anime.
suffer,
101.
being Maguka is suffering, etc., etc. But man, I still love that show so much.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love the mixing of art styles, and so
What else are we watching?
yeah. So in addition to that, I also watched a lot of new anime. So I caught up to the most current episode of Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto, which I just like watched all as of today, there were 3 that I watched as of Tuesday. And I just like watched them all in a row. Like sometimes I have trouble, like with Kiznaiver, I've been kind of spacing them out a little bit so I can kind of absorb what's going on. But with Sakamoto, I was just like, oh, I want to keep watching this. And then when I reached the end, I was like, no. I really like it. I think it's super funny. And the whole thing he did where he pretended to be possessed by the fox thing was so weird.
Yeah.
And he's a super weirdo. He's such a dork, but like a
so
cool
cool.
dork. So cool. Coolest. And then I also did watch Kiznaiver. Not going to spoil anything, but episode 3 has an interesting person. I don't know
Kinda
if you've
confirm-
watched episode 3 yet. If you haven't, shut your ears for 2 seconds. But yikes,
That was quite a twist.
Wasn't ready for that person. Being
we
a little.
we talked about it, right? We were like, if there was a guy like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. We actually touched on
We
that.
did touch on that before I had
And
seen
boom,
this
there
episode,
it
but
is.
Yeah.
masochism.
In case
Thumbs up.
in case you're listening at home, Kelly just gave a big thumbs up to masochism.
Approved. No. But yeah, so just going off of what Miranda said a little bit ago about trigger shows, I am almost expecting that big twist from this show, like a big shift, because the big shift in Gurren Lagann is what made me go like, yeah, Gurren Lagann, and then like Kill la Kill doing that for your boyfriend, and like I'm not super engaged with Kiznaiver yet, but I'm sort of holding out hope for.
I feel like it's a trigger show, so you think it's going one direction, and then somewhere along the way
hope
it's going
that
to
it
go
does
off
anyway.
the rails.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
because I know the studio, I expect that from Kiznaiver.
Yeah.
So even though the first 3, I haven't watched the 4th episode yet, I'm kind of like, all right, getting to know these characters.
Sure.
The redhead's my favorite.
Comment now with the pink hair.
Yeah. I have a type. And yeah, but I'm still sort of like, okay, what
they
is
haven't
interesting about this?
Yeah, they haven't established exactly where they're going to go with this.
I do get like these first 3 episodes were definitely about introducing all the characters and getting to know, and the whole point is that they were all chosen because they fit a different archetype, right? Like the high and mighty one, or the annoyingly high and mighty, whatever the Chidori, her like archetype is. I thought that was a clever way to like really just at the very beginning introduce us to who these characters are in general, and then kind of delving deeper into what makes them different from each other and what makes them similar. So I think that all of that makes sense for the beginning of a show, but I want to be surprised. I'm hopeful.
sure.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
Nice.
Man, lots of stuff to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And even more to watch later. So we want to kind of introduce a new thing that we'd like to do every month. So probably the first week of every month, we're going to be doing a studio spotlight. So we just want to focus in on one studio and just highlight some of the great things they've done, or things you should know about them. And first, we're going to kick off with Manglobe.
Rip.
So,
Oof.
Nay anime.
My heart hurts.
It's
and one reason we kind of wanted to start with them is just because they did close so recently. They closed last year because of bankruptcy. So we thought it'd be appropriate to just like highlight them and share their successes and like what they did cool, and maybe look at what their shows relate to anime in the industry, and kind of look a little deeper at that.
like, even if they're closed down now, they still had a major impact. So we kind of wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, it's also kind of interesting to look at like their successes and failures and like what works with the anime audience. Like, what are people watching? What do people care about? And we have some really cool topics to talk about that. So just to kind of get you guys familiar with Manglobe, it was originally founded by 2 Sunrise producers and closed in 2015 after filing for bankruptcy. It opened in 2002. And early on, the studio focused a lot on originals. And so they did like Samurai Champloo, Ergo Proxy, Michiko and Hatchin. And then kind of after that, they started working more on adapted works. So they did The World God Only Knows, which is kind of like one of their biggest successes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they did Deadman Wonderland, Samurai Flamenco, and Gangsta, along with a few others, but those are kind of like the
big ones.
that you should know. Yeah. So, Megan, I heard you pulled some numbers.
I did pull some numbers, and Miranda and I were talking before the show started. We want to be careful of these numbers because don't trust the internet. But it's just very indicative of the fact that these shows seem popular and people really love these shows, but the numbers were dismal. And for me, it's really painful because Michiko and Hatchin, for example, is one of my all-time favorite anime, hands down. I rarely ever see an empowered female, and I feel like Manglobe was really good with that, and Ergo Proxy and whatnot. And the lowest numbers belong to Michiko and Hatchin, and they couldn't rely on foreign sales because it didn't come out dubbed years later. In fact, it only just aired on Toonami last year as Manglobe was going bankrupt.
Yeah, and that surprises me too, because Michiko is such a she's a babe and a half. Like you'd think people would like buy Bishoujo like if they had a Bishoujo figure, I would scrape together some people and be like, "Hey, we're gonna buy this for Megan's birthday." I know she's your waifu. Like
she is she's my queen.
Right? You just think that because I know merchandise sales are a big part of what drives general sales and successes. You know, for better or worse, whatever your opinion is on that. And I'm surprised that Michiko wasn't leveraged for that.
Well, I was surprised at the studio, and we'll talk about it more in depth later, but just the idea of how do you sell these seinen, these adult shows without sponsorship, like, hey, brought to you by Audi, like, you know, Final Fantasy 15 sort of did. Hey, it's an expensive game to make. But also just like Bishoujo figures and stuff like that. Like, I saw one thing that's out of print or out of stock or how you want to say it, but it was Michiko on her motorcycle with Hatchin, you know, flying behind her.
That's
but
so cool.
You can't find it anywhere, and it's just really hard to find things like that. And so, like, other shows that I love too, like Samurai Flamenco, is funny as hell. It's this pedestrian superhero, model by day, pedestrian superhero by night, which is a whole thing about like crime in Japan being so low, and so he's more of an irritant, like, don't pollute, kids. You know, like, don't take your trash out before midnight, raccoons could get to it, like stuff like that. I don't know, these numbers are so low for like Samurai Flamenco tanked, Michiko and Hatchin tanked in terms of Blu-ray and DVD sales, and I'm just it's so hard to. I don't want to give the numbers because they're probably not entirely accurate, but it's just very indicative of the fact that these shows aren't getting support in Japan the way you'd hope they would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so like with that, we want to question like can mature anime, can seinen anime be as successful as shonen and shoujo? Yeah. Obviously, shonen anime skyrocket. Like they get all the support. Like we see how popular they are. Like Naruto is like a household name. Like everyone knows what that is. Everyone knows what Dragon Ball Z is. Everyone knows Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Everyone knows One Piece. Is that so? Slight tangent. Is that a new One Piece figure, Mike?
Yes. I picked it up.
Watch the video. It's really cool.
Speaking of the success of shonen anime,
right? That's a perfect example.
I dropped a lot of money.
So can these adult anime survive in industry? And a big thing, of course, is merchandising. Like we were just saying, it's like, hey, we got all these crazy, awesome things, but I've been watching Ergo Proxy recently, and
so good.
Yeah, I just wanted to like kind of look up stuff for that. Like I was like, oh, they probably have some figures, and it's so hard to find anything for that. Like sure they have the Blu-rays and stuff, but like what about the other kinds of support? Like there's some like wall scrolls, and those could be printed by like third-party people who just take the stuff and don't.
Yeah, the soundtrack is really cool. Like are there soundtrack numbers and stuff like that?
Yeah, and so the thing that jumps out at me about these seinen anime. The merchandise is really hard to find, and I'm thinking about how in the U.S., like we have these sort of super mature shows that are very popular. Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, super popular. You can buy like Game of Thrones like shot glasses, right? Yep. And that makes me think like maybe the kind of merchandise we see being really successful for shonen and you know bishoujo statues, wall scrolls, that stuff doesn't really translate to the seinen audience, the core seinen audience. That's one of my concerns is like, you know, there is an audience for these really serious shows. I mean, in the US, like our most popular shows are crazy serious, crazy mature. It'd be cool to like see some more mature anime get that same treatment. I think there is an audience for that here.
I'm surprised that they don't have more in-show advertising too, because I was reading Anime Encyclopedia and it was saying that and this just goes for any cartoon or any show where you actually see a product with the product name spelled properly. Like people are drinking Pepsi, that was paid for.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
it doesn't say
how
like
come in
Michiko
and Hatchin, it wasn't like, you know, I'm trying to think of like a, you know, Dos Equis or something like advertisements.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Some sort of thing. And I'm just curious to know why that wasn't.
Like, I wonder if the reason like seinen anime doesn't take off as much in like a foreign market especially is because in the US people kind of have this certain picture of what anime is, right? So, you know, I was talking to somebody in the office who doesn't really watch anime and he was like, you know, I'm just not really into that like, oh, power up sort of thing. And I was like, gonna ignore that imitation, but also that is only a small fraction of what anime is, and that's just what we see the most because like a One Piece, a Naruto, a Dragon Ball Z gets so much merchandising, and that sort of merchandising is successful for those types of shows.
I think so. Like also a big thing with that too is our perspective on animation.
Yeah.
I think the Western perspective is very different from many. I think more in Europe and stuff you see a little bit more creativity with it, but at least here in the United States, a lot of people view animation as a children's thing.
Or an adult comedy.
Or comedy. Like it's limited to comedy or sitcoms, like these kind of things. And that definitely prohibits it from being anything more. Like these adult anime probably wouldn't succeed like in just like a normal market. Which is such a huge shame.
Like we have a very limited perspective on animation. I
think I saw somewhere. Have you guys seen Fantastic Mr. Fox?
No.
That's claymation.
No. Heard about it.
And I read it. I think it was on a BuzzFeed article. It's like the most like just like fun movie, like feel good movies kind of thing.
Yeah.
And someone had written about it. Like I think they just pulled just comments from people, just contributors, and someone had said it was like a great children's movie, but it's not for kids. Like it's a little bit more mature. It's not necessarily like super adult, but it's not a kids movie. And so like they're just like I just got so mad because it just like speaks to how people think of like what animation is and like what it can do. And I think like with that, maybe I'm not sure like exactly what the view on that is in like Japan or anything where these sales matter a lot too.
Yes.
Yeah. So like maybe that's also a reason why the adult.
Well, it's also promotion also, you know.
Yeah.
Like just looking at it, you'd be like, oh, this is claymation, must be for kids. And then with all anime.
Yeah.
You know,
Whereas if let's say one of these shows, something super violent, Ninja Scroll ended up on HBO, maybe that would be a way to promote anime as adult. But spotlighting it and getting HBO and Netflix and people to pick up on this stuff, it's like you have to make a case for that people will watch it, and that would be really difficult.
Yeah. Well, with the popularity with Attack on Titan, I think that's going to change for sure. Like it's very violent and mature, and now Kabaneri. In the fold, it's like.
But I don't want to conflate violent and mature. I don't think they're the same. Because
Sorry, I was thinking the HBO audience.
Well,
Sure.
HBO,
Like
but like I think any shonen anime is technically pretty violent. There's a lot of fighting in shonen, but like it's definitely how the show handles violence. I think is a big factor, and also just like focusing on adults. So the one thing. Like Attack on Titan's super popular. A lot of people who don't even watch anime know what Attack on Titan is. It's on Netflix and stuff like that. It still is focusing on young people. There's this sort of youthful element to it. There's a lot of angst. And I don't know, something like a Gangsta, which is just so different. The tone is so different. And even though we all know what happened there, it's hard to find a market because people aren't going into that expecting that tone. Like I even had that. I was watching, and I'm going to not even get into how I felt about the show, but I watched BoJack Horseman expecting. Don't judge me. I watched
judge-free zone.
I watched it expecting because I had run out of episodes of Archer, and I really like Archer, etc. And I was watching it expecting like a comedic tone, and it's not.
I heard it's really dark.
So dark, and I still don't even know if I like hated it or just was indifferent. But that was so jarring and weird. But I think that having that show, and that show is like relatively people know that show. Maybe it'll get people used to the idea of things not being either Family Guy or SpongeBob.
No, I think that's a really fair assessment.
Yeah.
Like that might throw open the doors for anime because now people's expectations will shift.
Yeah.
So I hope so.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at like the most popular anime. I'm just thinking, A Simpsons, so long running. It set the tone for a lot of things. I mean. Family Guy pretty much follows a similar model as far as like the family makeup goes, though their comedy is actually pretty distinct. And then like a South Park like set its own tone.
It did, but there's always a comedic slant with most of the.
Well, that's what I'm saying
shows,
is like all of those shows follow like even if they do get serious, it's just really heavy on the comedy.
Yeah, it's like Futurama had serious things, but it was a sitcom. Like, it was funny.
So good. I mean, like Jurassic Park. Oh, cry. But again, it follows that same like the tone set by The Simpsons. Basically, I mean that is a Matt Groening show, so of course it's going to be similar. But it's the seriousness is not the same tone as something like a Gangsta, where
Gotcha.
that show might have a comedic moment, but largely it is couched in seriousness, versus a Simpsons, a Family Guy, a South Park will have a serious moment surrounded by comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of bringing it back into Manglobe, you look at their works, and it's mostly adult stuff, and surprised it didn't sell. And the really big thing that they did was, like we said, The World God Only Knows.
Yeah.
And they did multiple seasons. It sold super well. And then they moved off that, and then they started doing poorly again. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, again, it's all about that merchandising, because shonen and shoujo are a lot easier to merchandise. And it's interesting because it's hard to merchandise, because that particular age group only stays loyal to a show for so long before they get older and have more responsibilities and whatnot. So
yeah, and I mean, just looking at the list, like they're, you know, like we said earlier, they started with originals, not manga adaptations, and some of those are some of our favorites, right? And then they moved away from that, and it's just hard to maintain that momentum, I think, especially with. The other thing about serious shows is, like, sometimes can be hard to watch them.
Yeah.
And they don't like, there's a story and it has a beginning, middle, and an end, versus a shonen is just kind of adventuring forever.
Right.
I think that's another struggle.
Yeah.
Is keeping that audience.
Sure. Can I ask what everyone's favorite Manglobe show is and why? I want to give a shout out to these beautiful shows for those who haven't seen them, because I just feel like some of these are criminally underrated.
Yeah, I'm digging Ergo Proxy. I marathoned a bunch of it, and I was just like, oh, this is really cool. And also it's a sub and dub for people who like dubs.
Yeah, the dub is really good. I just pinged Liam O'Brien. I was like, dude, you killed it as Vincent. Like, it's always so good to find an anime with quality dubbing. So, thumbs up for that. Callie, what about you?
I haven't finished it yet, but I super like Michiko and Hatchin.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff about that. Yeah, I love Samurai Champloo. I mean, you know, Nujabi's music. Ugh. But also, I picked up Deadman Wonderland, and the 2 episodes just ridiculous, and I want to watch the rest, but I can't find the. I think I need a Funimation access. But anyway, aside from that, Deadman Wonderland.
Yeah, we gotta fix that.
Yeah,
you gotta get some Funimation access.
But yeah, those 2.
So, Megan.
Obviously, Michiko and Hatchin,
I think I know
all
yours.
that I praise, but also I too, like Miranda, really enjoy Ergo Proxy.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. So if you like things
Sci-fi
like
mystery.
sci-fi mystery, that's a really good one. And I also like Samurai Flamenco. It's just, I just love the bromance between the 2 characters, and just the whole idea of some guy running around being a superhero, but it's not like he's taking on, so far I'm still in the beginning, but like Yakuza or anything like that.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, you can't put the trash on the street. Hey, that's jaywalking. Like, just, it's a really cute idea. Good music too.
So, kind of answering your question, can mature anime be as successful as shonen and shoujo? I think right now, not really.
Yeah,
Not with how they approach the market and how it's sold. I think very rarely you'll see something being successful, like a race. Like, I wonder how well that's going to sell, and what they'll spin out of that, just because that was an adult show that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I wonder see how it'll sell.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have statues of some of the characters. I really hope they don't.
I really hope they don't. Yeah, I think basically the crux of our conversation is it comes down to marketing, and one of the problems with marketing, at least in the U.S., because we can speak to U.S. being, you know, living here and stuff, is that it's very hard to communicate what the point of the show is when people have certain expectations of animation. I think that's another problem. It's a lot of marketing, merchandising. It's not the quality of the show. I think that's an answer.
not at all.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with that.
I get in the door. Yeah.
Yeah, so only time will tell. Let us know what you guys think. Do you watch all that mature anime? Are you more into shonen? What appeals to you? Why not? Just look at the show and see what's in? I don't know. Sometimes that's what I do anyway. It's just like, I just see what's up with the show. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. And yeah, be sure to check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/anime club. Anime. Yeah, so moving on with Manglobe in mind, will Gangsta get a 2nd season? Could that happen? You guys think? Because a lot of people want it, because it just kind of ended at a
It literally ended on a cliffhanger, or people just falling off a roof. It was really weird.
I never watched the last 2 episodes.
That's okay. You didn't miss anything.
Because so what I sort of want before they even touch the 2nd season is kind of a redraw of some of them.
Recap episode?
Yeah, not a recap episode, just like cleaning up some of that animation. But yeah, think it's possible. We have some nice notes here that prove why, Miranda.
Yeah, so it's not unheard of for an anime to be picked up by another studio. Though these cases are different because the studio is not shut down.
Yeah.
So My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu was originally done by Brainspace, and the second season was handed over to Studio Feel. There was a change in director and character designer, but they kept the voice actors, sound director, and a few other staff members. And sometimes we look at those and just like, what happened? Maybe deals changed. Maybe they decided like this. Maybe Brainspace got a deal for a different anime and couldn't take on the second season. Like,
Right.
I think they came out like a while after, so that maybe their schedule was too full, and when they brought it forward, like, sorry, can't do that. Or maybe the people who are in charge of getting it, produced were like, hey, we want to try a different direction.
Yeah.
So that always happens. And then Log Horizon's first season was done by Satellite, and the second season was done by Studio Dean. And the director from the original series also directed the second season. So it would be interesting to see if Gangsta got picked up by somebody else.
Yeah, because it's based off a manga. There is material
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
It's not like they'd be picking up from nothing.
I just looked up how many volumes are in the manga, and I think there's 7. So there's definitely room for
and
more.
it's ongoing.
Yeah.
So it's still going, at least. I mean, there's also a lot of anime that's just out there that end with a cliffhanger and never get a second season. Like, they're just there, like, hey, we're here to promote the manga. We did it. Bye.
Yeah. We did our job. Peace.
Yeah. So that could very well just happen. Also with, like, I don't know how the rights go with Manglobe having shut down and having done Gangsta, like what legally needs to go on with that.
I'm sure they can pick it up on the cheap.
Yeah, but it's very strange, though, because Gangsta was supposed to have all its Blu-rays out by February 2016, along with the box set, but only had 2 of its 6 Blu-rays released, with Manglobe filing for bankruptcy. So the third one was announced and then delayed until further notice. So there's a lot of those kind of questions, too. It's like they're not even getting these last things out, so is it just kind of going to fade away? Maybe. Yeah. But, like, it's still selling okay, I think, or the manga is anyway. Gangsta Volume 5 made it to the New York Times manga bestseller list. It was at number 3.
That's good.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the New York Times. Like, sales over here don't necessarily, I don't know how valued they are.
I think
I mean, of course, there's licensing and stuff, so like it's part of Viz and like other things.
yeah, there's important considerations, but I don't think it has as much weight.
Yeah,
I think it does, but at least it made it onto a list. I'm impressed
I
it got
mean,
that far. That was my
That
point.
is something. And honestly, one of the big questions is like, would you guys watch a second season of Gangsta?
yeah.
Like, this is a candidate for me because a lot, like, I brought it up 2 seconds ago about wanting to see the animation get better. A lot of that happens when they come to Blu-ray. They have time. That happened with Sailor Moon Crystal before they just improved it in general for season 3. This is a show that I might consider buying on Blu-ray just for that, because I really did like where it was going, and I would watch a second season if it got the resources it deserved. It's also something I kind of want to read the manga now, but
I feel like it was weaving a very complex story and just didn't have the time and budget to finish it. And that's
Exactly.
frustrating. It's like, I know you're going somewhere with it, but I don't know where because it just got abruptly cut off.
yeah.
Yeah, to kind of bring down the discussion a little more. Sorry. There's an audio drama. It was first released in 2014, and it's supposed to end up for the first 3 CDs. And then they ended up extending it, and they had a planned like 6 and 7 CDs, and then those were delayed until further notice. Those were supposed to come out in November and then January of this year. And the dramas were done by the voice actors who did their voice acting in the anime, so that's really cool. But it's also sad that those were also delayed, and those weren't through Manglobe. So it's just kind of like, is Gangsta sinking? It might be.
Oh, man.
It's just really sad. It's just really sad to see that. But of course, the manga is still going. So if you do want Gangsta in your life, there is a way to get it.
Yeah.
But as of right now, just from my perspective, I don't think it will get a second season. I don't think anyone's gonna pick it up. I mean,
I don't think so either. I don't see why they would. I mean, I don't know the actual number. I'm looking at the numbers I pulled, and I don't think there are any numbers available for Gangsta.
yeah. I mean, like they only had 2 Blu-ray releases.
Yeah, so
I
there's
mean,
nothing there to be like, well, is it worth picking up?
Yeah, even if I'd like to see it, it's really not likely that it would.
Yeah, so sorry, Gangsta
shame.
fans. Probably
There's
not going to see
still
the
a
anime.
manga.
There's still a manga. Yeah, there's still ways to consume it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think if someone were to pick it up, I'd be interested in like maybe Production IG. They did Psychopaths.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like, I
That'd
think
be
they
really
have
good.
a feel on like the intensity of a show. It's dark, and of course, I'd like that. But we'll see. We'll see. Sad.
Fingers crossed. We'll see.
Yeah. So that's Manglobe's sadness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just kind of talking about their final project now. Was called Genocidal Organ.
Question. Body organ or musical instrument organ?
Definitely musical instrument.
Yeah, it's killing everyone. Phantom of the
Hey.
Opera's organ broke loose.
Yeah, hey, look, there's lots of pipes. You could do something there. I'm just saying.
Or it could be an exploding appendix that just blows up half the world.
Genocide. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
Danganronpa reference.
So that was supposed to be out in late 2015. Geno Studio will finish the project. Geno Studio. They made the studio just to finish the. Yeah.
No way, really?
Yeah. So it was like, so the studio was made, I guess, kind of with the staff that were working on it, and they just said, okay, we'll pull you guys off, like your Manglobe sense. We'll just pull you off.
I hope they're
Do it together.
successful and they make more genocide anime. Yikes. Like,
Kelly.
Geno
Got all the crazy quotes today.
Geno Studio is such a specific name. I'm thrown off. I'm sorry.
So thumbs up to
Organ.
genocide and masochism today.
Listen, I had a blue bottle coffee. It's an interesting day.
Blue bottle
But yeah,
coffee.
so they broke off a separate studio just to finish their last project. It's like they're like death rattle.
Like the sad thing is, it's sad, but at least these people who are working on it still have work.
Yeah.
And they still get to finish this production. So that's really
I
good.
love that commitment. They're like, we're not going to just let this drop. We're gonna see this all the way through. So that's also really cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of the last of Manglobe.
If you are interested in any of these shows, Gangsta, Samurai Flamenco, Michiko and Hatchin, Ergo Proxy, Samurai Champloo, please go out, buy the DVDs, watch the shows, see the beauty and wonder of what Manglobe once was, and pray that everyone who was involved in the studio reforms into a different studio and continues these amazing adult anime.
Yeah, and I'm going to check out the WTF genocidal organ because
Yeah.
I have to know what that's about. What is that?
It's a bizarre name. Oh, anime. You never fail us.
Oh, anime.
Yeah. So we will be highlighting another studio next week. Not necessarily going into detail about just like what shows and like who's directing it, although that is something that's important to us too. But this one specifically wanted to focus on some of their works and specifically what Manglobe specialized in, which is adult anime. So let us know what do you guys want to talk about next? Which studio should we highlight next month? I have some ideas, but let us know who you guys want to see. With that,
How can they do that?
They can send us emails at IGN_AnimeClub@IGN.com. And you can talk to us on our Facebook group, which is Facebook.com/group/IGN Anime Club. It's called the IGN Anime Club official group. And you can also tweet to us on Twitter. We have our own Twitter surprise. And we talk about this at the end of the show. And you can also hashtag IGNAme, IGNIME, and we check that as well.
Yeah.
So
We're everywhere.
there's a lot
everywhere.
of places you can talk to
Hashtag
us.
Anime Club
Please talk to
everywhere.
me. I'm so sad. Just kidding, I'm not
I'm
sad.
so lonely.
I'm fine.
I'm lonely. You can talk
I
to
have
me.
a bunch of Pikachu. I don't need you. I'm just kidding. I'm so sad. Anyway,
This has been a roller coaster. I blame Blue Bottle Coffee.
don't drink Blue Bottle
By
Coffee.
the way,
Blue
are they-
Bottle Coffee sponsored today's episode.
They actually didn't.
They did
but-
not. They did not, but we had a lot of it.
They did not, but it makes you love masochism and genocidal organs.
So much caffeine, please
And
help.
cheeses on wheels.
What's going on? Anyway, with that,
It's been a great episode.
if you're just joining us for the Shirobako watch party, yes.
Whoa!
What's a watch party, Miranda?
It's a thing that you guys chose. So every week we watch 2 episodes of a show chosen by you guys. As I just said, whoa. And this time it's Shirobako, episodes 9 and 10. Yeah, so we go through and break them down, talk about the highlights, and more importantly, talk about what you guys noticed. So the best thing is a lot of people write really long posts in Facebook, and I feel bad because we have to chop them down. But the cool thing is that people carry on the discussion there. So join the discussion. Get in there. We talk to you guys too. We want to know what you're thinking about. And yeah, so like I said, this week we're looking at episodes 9 and 10 of Shirobako and leaving with one of our key analysts, Kevin S.
Yes, yes.
Episode 9 and 10 really focuses on the theme of dreams in the future. The characters are implicitly asked a hypothetical question that everyone in life faces. where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's like a big thing just overall in Shirobako is like your dreams. Like, what do they mean? What does it mean when you get to them? Did you really get to them? Like, what do you really want to do with your life?
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's real.
It gets very real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Toro-san, the one that's working at the car CG studio.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, before I worked here, that was exactly what I was thinking about. Like, what the hell am I gonna do?
Yeah,
to work in the
Michan's
games.
boss says a really good thing to her. It's like, whatever you do, if you can't picture yourself in the future, nothing will begin. So it's like, if you don't have goals or aspirations, or if you don't know how you want to get there, then you can't do it.
Yeah.
You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, you won't have a path to follow, so you won't get any further along that path.
Yeah, so a big conflict
too
with
real.
with her was she's designing these tires. She's like, well, I want to do something cool. Like, I want to make animals. I want to do something with a story, something that has meaning. And she ends up talking to her boss about it. He's like, man, we're gonna work on cars forever. So if you don't like it, get out.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
basically.
It's like, yeah, if you want to make anime with your friends and figure out how you get there. If you can't, then you're pretty much aimless.
And she's sort of backed into a corner because it's like you take the job that you can get to get your foot in the door, but she's with a studio that doesn't do anything she's interested in. It's all CG cars, so she's going to be, doing a lot of tires and car parts and what that's not what she wants to do. But it's hard to recommend her for another job when she's going to try and quit after just a year.
Right.
Yeah. Well, also, I think she also decided to go to that studio because the president created that anime OVA that she was a big fan of.
Yeah.
So a part of that, but also like just in general, like there was her coworker was there for 3 years working on interior of cars, and then 5 years for the exterior, some other dude. Like, yeah, like if you don't see yourself doing that, just bounce.
It's so stressful because you can feel how stuck she feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it's like, this is not how I get to where I want to be. But if I leave now, it looks bad because I've only been here for a year. So do I wait it out? Do I continue doing something that's not going to get me any closer to my dream? It's a terribly trapped feeling.
Totally.
Yeah, so Greg Garner related that a bunch. He said, Misa's story was the most personal for me. She has a comfortable job, but she doesn't have a chance to pursue her passion. She envies her friends who have less secure futures, including Zuka, who just got her first role doing crowd noise. She can't envision a better future for herself, so she feels stuck in what is essentially a gilded cage. So yeah, she has security, she has benefits, she has like a steady inflow of money, and she's doing well, but she doesn't care about it. That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because also if I were in that position, and I can sort of relate to her in a lot of ways, like Greg Garner said, it's like you feel bad complaining about it too. You're like, I'm doing great. I'm doing okay. Like, but also being dissatisfied with so many things is not doing great. Like, how do you weigh what is being successful? What is pursuing your dream? Is it making yourself like securing your future in a way that you can pursue your dream later? Like, what is it?
Well,
how do you define that?
Assuming you're successful is you would think that you would be passionate about it. What do you do?
Right.
So you are enjoying it in a way. If you're not, if you are successful, you're not enjoying, then it could be, I guess the job depends on the job. But like, successful people do enjoy what they're doing for the most part. So, in my perspective, I don't know if you guys.
I don't know. You would think that those go hand in hand. That's not always
Hey,
the
you can be
case.
successful and hate your job.
I do know people who
That's
do.
true.
They make a lot of money and they're successful, but they're not happy. A lot of people, especially young people, sometimes they're pressured into, well, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a dentist. And I know someone who was a dentist because his parents refused to pay for school because they were like, no, you're going to be a dentist, but he wanted to be a fireman.
No.
So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're successful as a dentist and you make a lot of money, you have a lot of respect, but it's not, I don't think that's his passion.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily goes hand in hand, whereas the starving artist doesn't have a lot of money, but they're doing something they love, but also they can't eat, so it's a little bit of a catch-22 sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's never too late. Also, if you spend 10 years at a job and you want to do something else, like go for it. Take classes or do whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway.
going to Taylor Grant Franklin, he says that Shirobako has a lot of fun with the director in episodes 9 and 10. His monologues about how he wants Exodus to end were amusing and enlightening. It's very capital A anime.
Yes.
Yeah. That was also fun because like we're finally wrapping up the Exodus arc. So there's like 2 big arcs in Shirobako, and we're getting to the end.
Very
and
cool.
so you kind of see them looking at the future too with I forget which one the other anime that they're scoping out.
Okay.
Aerial Girls. But yeah, we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting.
Can I just give a shout out to the sumo wrestling match between the director and
Yes.
Honda, which had me cracking up because I just saw a sumo wrestling match on TV Japan, and they like had the movements down and they were like colliding because the director was like, the director Honda, I forget which one, but he was like, I'm gonna quit. And they
Yeah.
get into this huge wrestling match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
Megan Murphy picked up this theme, which is also a theme of this episode, these few episodes, is recognition and quitting. Even after assuming Misa would stick with it and get more experience at her company, we see her turn in a letter of resignation. Hanakun's declaration of quitting threw me off guard as well. However, he's going after his true dream, so we have to applaud him for that. Same with Misa, for that matter. And it's like that's such a big thing. When you see Miyamori go to ask her, one of the CG guys at Misani, about jobs, he's like, wait, she's quitting that place? Like, that place is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you quit there? How long has she been there? And like, oh, less than a year. He's like, what?
Yeah.
And I get that. Like, if you have like a really good job, it's like there is that guilt of like quitting to move on to find something that fits you better. Makes me think of Mad Men, but you know, you got to pursue your dreams. It's really important, and sometimes that makes big sacrifices. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting when what's the other PA? She was like, "Oh, Honda beat me to it." I'm like, "Oh."
Oh yeah. It's like,
Ugh.
Yeah.
I also
Like,
really like
not
that
looking
scene
good.
when Miyamori was thinking about Honda quitting. He was saying like, I'm gonna go chase cake. Like
Yeah.
there's that scene when he's looking at the
The
fork in the
path,
road,
yeah.
and he's gotta choose where he wants to go. And he runs towards the cake, and Miyamori is just like off in the distance, like looking at him choose his dream. And then very quickly she tears herself away from that, and she's like, no, I need to think about episode 13. Like there was that balance too. It's like, yeah, you should be focused on your career goals and like what you want to do in the future, but also don't forget what's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's super important.
It would
Yeah.
look even worse if you got fired. So,
Yeah.
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 eye on the ball.
Also, the rise of Diesel-chan! She's coming! She hasn't got that nickname yet, but that's just
It's
the
a
best.
thing.
New
Don't
character.
even worry about it. No.
Nope.
Also, props to the scenario writer for getting the director on board with his storyboards. Finally,
Oh, yeah.
all he had to do was ask him a few questions, and like, boom, 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 done.
Yeah.
Like, geez.
Yeah, I went all Super Saiyan too.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yes,
They should
that
have-
was Mai Takeshi Meiji, as
Yes.
Taylor Grant Franklin pointed out, was actually a real person as well. Another cameo.
Ah.
To Hiroyuki Yoshino. He is a Sunrise writing veteran whose work includes scripting and series composition on Across Frontier, My Hime / My Otome, Black Butler, and he's also worked as assistant to writer Ichiro Okouchi on Code Geass. So
Very
he's
cool.
done a lot of cool stuff. He knows how to write a script and got
It's
Exodus back on
fun
track.
that this anime has these little cameos that if you
Right.
sort of are inside of the
really-
industry, you get the joke.
Yeah, and
cute.
so you see where their experience comes from too in relation to Shirobako. So it's so cool. Yeah, so some good episodes, stressful and weird. Also, any scene with Zuka-chan makes me super anxious because she always messes up.
I know.
I'm like, no, poor baby.
When she walked in with her shoes, like, oh.
Walked in with her shoes, and then her voice cracks and she gets like way too enthusiastic about cheering.
My
It's like, ugh.
even talking about this show gives me like discomfort just because I'm like, oh, baby.
It hurts.
It hurts a
because I've
lot.
been her, and it's the worst feeling when you get like really performance anxiety, and she gets it, and she can't do anything right, and you're just like, oh, let's just stop doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's getting better though.
Sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
So Mike and Megan, I want to check in with you guys since you're new to the show.
Yeah.
How are you liking it so far?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I love how it's really like, for a slice of life, it's so real, like and relatable. Like it's nice seeing everyone's perspective and just following the story. Like a lot of what they've done is what I've done. You know, like I was working in marketing, I didn't like it really, and then I wanted to be in games, so I freelanced for a buddy's website, did some writing, played some games, and reviewed some stuff, and here I am. Although it's not related, but I'm in video, but whatever. I think thinking like this whole trip is like exactly what I did like a couple of years ago. So seeing all that unfold for them it's kind of cool. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. It's definitely stressful to watch sometimes. I mean, they're really good at conveying the stress of what they do. I'm still a little overwhelmed by what everyone does. It's like, I forget who that is, or I know their name, but I don't know what they do. I don't remember anymore because there's so many working parts to making an anime. But it's
like even the main girls, it's easy to forget their names sometimes.
Right, yeah, it really is. It's like you're me, no, my, mo,
so
moo.
Richan, Michan.
Yeah. I just like
That's
help.
why Richan gets names to Diesel-chan.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
that.
smart.
Okay.
You can remember that. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. It's a really good slice of life, and it's a little different. It's adults working in adult environment.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's just also a nice thing to give you a little bit understanding of how anime is made.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
no.
not of course one-to-one as we said before, but you know.
Yeah, I totally appreciate it. Like week by week, I'll watch anime. I'm like, ooh, this is iffy. Something happened.
It's like, what happened in the 4th episode?
Yeah, ever since I first watched Shirobako, that's how I've been watching anime since. Just being like,
Recap episode.
You guys hired a Taro, I see. Yeah, this show has so much going for it, though, as far as the relatability, the realness of it, like you said, Mike, and then also the perspective on the industry. There's a lot there, and you don't have to, like, even if you aren't that interested in how production of shows goes wrong or something like that, you still get something out of the show, out of Shirobako, I think. So, yeah. Now I'm all stressed.
So let us know how you guys are enjoying the show. Please, again, comment. We are so happy to listen to what you guys have to say. Thank you guys all for contributing. And if we didn't get to read your stuff, we read it. We love it. We did. And we're excited to share the show with you guys. So next episodes we're watching are 11 and 12. Kind of the end of this arc. So it's very exciting.
Yes.
And yeah, that's this week's watch party.
Yay, anime.
Yay, anime.
Okay, I'm writing down 10 codes.
People talk. Hey, where can they find you on Twitter?
You can follow me at XP M&Ms.
Have anything cool going on?
So I am playing the new One Piece Burning Blood, getting some cool gameplay for that. So check that out.
Ooh.
Oh, you're gonna be putting
Yeah.
some gameplay clips on the YouTubes. Cool.
Megan?
I am reviewing something anime related. I don't know if I'm under embargo or not, so I need to check in about that. So I'll let you know. And also, we're trying to finally nail down the next guest for a special OVA episode for Anime Club. So I don't know if I can talk about it yet because we want to
Later this
absolutely
month.
finalize it.
Yeah.
Let's just keep an eye out for that.
Just keep an
And
eye
then,
out for
what's
that.
your-
You can find me at Megan, MEGHAN_IGN. Come talk to me about anime, wrestling, video games, all that good stuff.
I'm working on something I can't talk about. And I lied about not wanting to talk to you guys. I was kidding. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's the blue bottle. It's the devil.
It's the blue bottle was sent from New Orleans to ruin us. It's New Orleans cold brew coffee.
Devil in a blue bottle.
They can find you. They can talk to you on Twitter.
Yeah, at Havoc Rose. It's Havoc with a K.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I am involved in a lot of Call of Duty stuff this week.
Yes.
Call of Duty is I did so much Call of Duty yesterday. More Call of Duty stuff today. I was in a cool conversation where we talked about the past. You can check that all out on IGN.com. And I tweeted it out. And I will be tweeting out more stuff on my Twitter at Ikidochiko, INKYDOJIKKO.
Call of Duty in space.
I just want to hug the robots. I took a screen cap of the robot that like throws you into the ship, and I was just like, hearts, best friend. I love robots.
Oh, also, Fanimaze this month.
Yes. And a couple of
planning
us are going. We are going. So we will let you know if we're going to do a meetup or anything. Let us know if you want to do a meetup. We're still trying to decide, or I'm still trying to decide on cosplay.
I already got mine.
Ooh, Mike is all
It's really
over
simple,
it.
but you know.
I gotta go
my
fabric
prep.
shopping.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this episode, and we will see you next week for episode 52.
Yeah, anime!